I'll tell you something. I grew up in a home. I've got to admit to you this. I was not raised Baptist. I'm not a Baptist. I grew up in my family were Pentecostal. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. You know why God made Pentecostals? I'm going to tell you. God made Pentecostals so that Baptists would know how Presbyterians feel when they come to your church. That's what. Right? They come in here and they go, "Ooh, what's going on here?" Bring a Baptist into a Pentecostal church, you see that same expression. Oh! People are jumping around here. I think that man died over there. Did he die? Is he dead? He's slain in the Spirit. And my mother was in love with the Lord, and it was in everything she said. It was in her language, right? Near the end of her life, she just passed away last year, and we miss her so much, but near the end of her life, the word yes kind of disappeared from her language. It didn't from her vocabulary. It became amen. Everything was amen. You would say, "Mom, would you like some more soup?" She'd say, "Amen." "Would you like a little salad with that?" "Oh, amen." "How about a grilled cheese? Can I get a witness?" You know? It's like being in church all the time. Amen. But you know what the news is? It's every bad, horrible, terrible thing that happened anywhere in the world compressed into 1/2 hour before you go to sleep. Have you ever watched television and the news tease comes on at about 7 o'clock in the evening and they say, "There could be a killer hiding in your kitchen cupboard"? Details at 11. Nobody eat! Don't eat anything! There's a killer in the kitchen! I try to make good choices for the things I eat, for the most part, you know, have time for treats and all those things. But, you know, at some point it seems to be there's just so much that you can do wrong that it's almost pointless to even try. You know, I'm out there riding my bike, I'm taking walks, I'm trying to eat low fat, I'm trying to do all these things. The other day on the news, I am not making this up, they came on and they said, "You know, it is possible to be completely within the right body mass index, and yet your organs may be obese." Well, I quit. I'll have a chocolate cake iced with bacon grease. I mean, if my organs are going to be the problem, and I can't make my pancreas do crunches, I'm sorry. I guess we're all done here. Kids are, you know, they live in a state of anxiety and fear from the time they're babies. Babies are stressed. It's a stressful time, you know, because you really think about it. The whole world is populated by giants. There's a language barrier. People come, their faces looming up to you, babbling nonsense. Every 20 minutes or so, somebody comes over, rips your pants off. Slap some new ones right back where the old ones were. You know the baby's just going, "What was that about?" Fairy tales, we used to tell fairy tales to, and I was thinking about fairy tales, like those are terrible, scary things. They are, there's poisoning, you know, there's like, and then Snow White ate the poison apple that was red and sweet, and yet put her into a deep sleep for 1,000 years. Eat your fruit, eat your fruit. Why aren't you eating your fruit? And then just as the wolf was about to gobble up, the huntsman burst through the door and split the wolf open from his throat down to his tail, and Grandma spilled out of his colon. Sleep tight. I don't need sleep, I need counseling. Terrifying to be a child. I remember The Wizard of Oz freaked me out when I was a kid, and your parents, they're so enthusiastic. They're like, watch this, you're going to love it. There were tornadoes ripping houses up. There were witches. There were talking trees that threw apples at people, you know. And then what freaked me out more than anything else was the mayor of Munchkin City. Little helium voice with this strange, you know, the mayor of the Munchkin City. Weird hairdo. I remember when Ross Perot ran for president, I had a flashback. It was the weirdest thing. And you know, life is, let's face it, it's easier than it used to be. I was watching, I remember back in the late 80s, they had Lonesome Dove on. Do you remember that series, Lonesome Dove? One of the greatest westerns ever. I loved it. I love a good western. And I started wondering, you know, what would I have been in the Old West, you know? Maybe a sheriff, you know, a marshal, gunslinging lawman. Maybe that would have been me, you know. And I'm thinking of this as I'm, putting in my contacts and flossing my bridge work, putting mousse on my hair, you know. And I thought, no, if I had lived in without modern dentistry, optometry, and hair care products, I would have been a half-blind, toothless guy with a hedgehog type of hairdo. I would have been the village idiot, is what I would have been.